Every nigga was kung fu fighting.
Yeah.
Those niggas was fast as lightning. Hello, welcome back to the Creative Differences Podcast, the podcast that has recently taken a dip in quantity, but hopefully not in quality. I'm Dallas, and as soon as Demi mentioned Def Jam Vendetta in our most recent episode, I knew I had to add it to the Fancast list.
I'm Colin, and I don't remember the last time we did a Fancast that I knew much about it.
That's a fair question. I don't know.
It's very rare.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often.
It's few and far in between.
You don't get a lot of those.
Sorry, bud. But it sounds like you like doing the Fancast anyway.
You're not wrong.
And I'm Demi, and Def Jam Vendetta was one of my favorite games as a kid, and that's why we're
Same.
part of the reason why we're doing this today. Welcome to another episode of the Creative Differences Podcast, your one-stop shop for movie reviews, Fancast Fridays, Throwback Thursdays, and a number of other pop culture related items. Not really that much recently, but hey, news update. The Writers Guild is done striking, so hopefully that means SAG will be done striking, and we will go back to our regularly scheduled program. But until then, please continue to support the SAG strike.
Yes, tell the studios to stop being Disney villains.
As of recording,
cases, literally.
I think they're planning to go back into negotiations this coming week.
They are.
Monday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
We can hope.
by the time this episode comes out, they have already gone back to renegotiating.
Yes. And maybe they gave them a decent deal.
Maybe they did. We don't know yet because we don't live in the future. Anyway, today's episode, if you couldn't tell, we're doing a Fancast Friday for Def Jam Vendetta. We know that you guys voted for us to do our top 5 favorite books. The problem became that we could not schedule a time to record with Gabby, and we really want to do that episode with Gabby, so we are waiting until Gabby can finally record so that we can actually do that episode for you guys. But this ties in with last episode's top 5, which was our top 5 video game adaptations that we would like to see, and Def Jam Vendetta was number 2 on my list.
So it's actually better. But when Gabby gets back, we'll talk about books because she is that kind of nerd, not a video game kind of nerd. We all have different nerd pockets.
It's true.
Yes. And then also we were like, Gabby, we'll talk about Def Jam. She was like, that's too urban for me.
Dang,
so she decided to opt out of this.
Don't do that to her.
That's that. Before we get into the episode, please like, share, subscribe, all the things. Because like we said, maybe SAG finally got an acceptable deal, and then we could become a consistent podcast again. And you can hear our thoughts on movies, and not just video games, and maybe books one day.
Because we missed a lot of movies.
So many movies.
We want to talk about them.
It's wild how many movies have come out.
Man, that's crazy. We missed the summer of this year for movies.
Yeah.
Wild.
For the most part, yeah.
Oh, well. Writers got their deal, gang, gang.
Just waiting on SAG.
Yeah. Also, if you're new or you just don't pay attention, Fancast Friday, you can go to YouTube to check out visuals where we have pictures of these characters, because some people don't even know who these characters are, might not know who the actors are. You can go YouTube, you find out, look at the picture. Oh, snap, that's who that is. Cool. Got it. In my head. You got it.
For the record, our last movie review was Mission Impossible.
Whoa.
When did that come out?
Early July?
Okay.
That's not too bad.
Okay. So we missed some of the summer.
No, we missed like half the summer, yeah.
Yeah. A good amount.
Anyway, let's get started, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah, before we actually start jumping into these characters, I do want to give some backstory, because in this video game, there are 4 possible protagonists that you can choose, and we are fan casting all 4 of those. So I do want to give the background to that they all share.
Gotcha.
And then we'll go into what makes each character different when I bring up each character. So the backstory for each of these characters is the protagonist was the champion of the underground fighting circuit and was dating Angel, who performed at the clubs that he fought in. When local mob boss and businessman D-Mob began changing the circuit, the protagonist tried rebelling, but was run out of the circuit after losing a fight to D-Mob and losing Angel to D-Mob's promises of fame and her dream career.
It's so funny to me because I was, getting in my nerd pocket and looking up, trying to see if there's a semblance of a backstory for these characters. And the wiki page has backstory that is nowhere in the game.
I will be reading all of those backstories to you.
That was like, Angel's a singer?
Which makes sense. She's played by Christina Milian.
Yeah, I was like, sure. But all this stuff, all we know when you play the game is Angel is your ex. She's with this scary bald nigga now. You were a fighter. Now you're not. Now you're back because Manny's hurt and he's your friend. I was like, oh, he promised her fame and fortune and she went with him and da 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 da. Like,
I'm assuming.
All right, cool. There's a backstory here.
I'm assuming that that's probably mentioned, how if you open up games, they've got the little info files, the booklet in the game. I feel like it's in there.
I'm trying to think, is this in the booklet? I don't remember this at all.
And maybe we were just kids and weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. The game takes place 3 years after the events that I just read off.
Got
So we'll start off with the first character on our list, which is Proof, a true adrenaline junkie. Proof started racing motorcycles when he was a kid and entered the U.S. Superbike circuit at 19. After a series of reckless maneuvers, Proof was ruled responsible for a crash that ended the career of one of the other racers and was handed a 5-year suspension. Now he's a fighter. Dallas, who you got?
I'm also disappointed that this stuff isn't in the game because they gave them interesting stories.
They did,
That was
actually.
incredible because I was on the wiki and it was like, okay, he was a racer. I thought this was a fighting game. Like, what? And it's like, oh, yeah, he got in fighting after. It's like, okay, sure. Those
Like you
skills
were a
obviously
motorcycle-
translate.
But it tracks because he wears motorcycle jackets. One of his finishing moves, he kind of uses his opponent as a bike.
That's
Like, he
true.
grabs their arm from
I just feel
behind
like-
them and like uses
I
his
don't
handlebars.
know,
It's
but I
kinda
feel
crazy.
like body structure wouldn't translate. Like, I feel like you would need a different type of
It hurts.
musculature, but he made it work.
It isn't. But yeah, I was like, that would be interesting. Anyway, my proof is Michael B. Jordan.
Oh,
Because
nice. Good
I
job.
needed someone who can convincingly box. I know we can do that. I know we can play a street nigga. We've seen Fruitvale Station.
I can't watch it again, but I have indeed.
Yeah, great movie. Super sad. I've seen it once. It was all I need. And in Fant Four Stick, he was a street racer, which I'm just now remembering. I had completely forgot about that, but street racing was what Johnny did. And then he was like, I'm angsty. I got a white sister. But yeah, he checks all these boxes. I was like, bet. You can be angry. You can fight. You can act. You can be Proof. I haven't seen him wear braids since The Wire when he was like 15, 14, 13. I don't know. But, you know, put the braids back. This game came out in 2003, by the way. So there's a lot of, it's very dated in its fashion and everything.
Yeah, early 2000s fashion.
Yeah,
Imagine
like, give
it.
us the-
Picture it. We can make it a period piece.
Period piece. Give him the Bow Wow braids. I'm with it. But yeah, it's my proof.
Colin, who you got?
All right. So my proof is O'Shea Jackson Jr. Mainly
Nice.
because I didn't want to choose Michael B. Jordan because that felt too easy. But
Sometimes
like,
they're just easy.
I just feel like because when we were talking about these characters, because I don't know these characters at all, I asked, personality wise, would you consider Proof to be a nigga? And you were like,
Yeah.
Well, Demi was like, yeah, they're kind of all niggas. And I'm thinking, okay, I mean, he played his father, Ice Cube, like it just there's connection there. NWA, like makes sense.
Yeah, niggas with attitude.
Yeah.
It's right there in the name.
So I feel like he could make that work.
And with it,
All right, that takes us to me. I'm going to be honest. I did this Fancast real quick. Some of these roles, I was like, yeah, off looks alone, I'm going to do that. And some of them, I was just like, off ethnicity, I'm going to go off of that. And like, so it is not consistent across the board. Usually I would be heavily consistent with what I'm doing. With this one, ages, ranges, all sorts of stuff just does not even matter here. we're vibing here. I rarely ever took a second thought as to who I'd put down
I love that.
on the list. So I chose Jordan Calloway, funny enough, Pasadena native,
Oh, Jordan Calloway. Yeah.
Who-
Nice.
some of us grew
Interesting.
up with.
Yeah.
Mostly because I was looking at the picture of Proof and I was like, he kind of looked like Jordan Calloway, but like older. Like Jordan's not quite like,
Yeah.
well, I guess he is almost that age. He's like our age. So
Jordan has never really looked old to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
But when you think about how old these characters probably is the right age for that
Colin
character.
he was saying something about like, what kind of age or does the age matter, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no.
Not really.
Like, I assumed them to all be in their 20s-ish.
Maybe 30s,
Probably
who knows?
because just I knew Christina Milian was around that age when the game came out.
She was.
D-Mob's older because...
This is what
D-Mob.
I mean by I did not consider ages at all.
Yeah.
I didn't take the time this time around. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Jordan Calloway he's great from the things that I've seen him in. He was dope in Black Lightning. Black Lightning is the main thing I'm basing this off of because his character basically becomes an assassin at some point. Like he was supposed to get
All right.
a spinoff. That's how cool his character was.
Nice.
There are like some dope like scenes of him fighting and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, he could pull that off. He could do the fight scenes and stuff like that. But yeah, I think he'd be really good at it. And like I said, he's a Pasadena native who grew up with a few of us on this podcast.
We love that.
Let's rep Pasadena. Let's just do it.
We repping.
We rep him. And so those are our choices for Proof. Next up, we have Briggs. Briggs was dishonorably discharged from the U.S. Marines for striking a superior officer, and he lost himself in the New York fight scene as a way of forgetting his past, which is a super interesting backstory.
Right?
I want that movie.
It's like all these dudes have backstories that are wildly different, but they all fit into the story at the same exact time.
And they can
in the
all
same
do
exact
the
way.
same thing. Also, for the record, like, you guys basically would get to choose which protagonist. Actually, that'll be a poll. We're going to ask you guys which protagonist you guys would choose to actually be the star of
Yeah.
the movie.
I want to know. I also want to know, like, who would y'all use to fight with? Because at some point I used all of them.
I think I used all of them also, but I think my two favorite were Proof and Briggs.
I think you should start with Proof because, oh, you nigga.
Anyway, Dallas, who's your choice for Briggs?
Okay, so this one was actually like this whole fan cast for me was harder than I thought it would be.
Oh,
because I was looking for people who I know can fight.
Okay.
Or at least look like they can fight. So I was like, actors who have done martial arts, actors who have boxed, actors who are trained fighters. Briggs is, like I told Colin off mic in the chat, or no, like Demi said, they're kind of all niggas. Like there's nothing about Briggs that says nigga. He's from Dallas, Texas, and he was in the Marines, but
he's
just based on him being in this game, nigga by association. So I was like, I want a white boy who I think would be comfortable around niggas. Nigga by association.
The NBA?
Yes.
But I was also like, who can fight? So all that to say, I picked Tom Hardy.
Okay.
Because Tom Hardy is apparently very accomplished in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Nice.
Like he's won competitions. I know he can do an American accent. I know he can look like he'll knock a nigga out. He did a fighting movie. I think it was called Warrior or Fighter. It's one of those with like one really basic one-word title.
I want to say he was the one who did Warrior.
I think so. With Joel Edgerton? Maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah. But anyway, if he walked into a fight club, I'd be like, yeah, that tracks. Also, there's a line in the game where D-Mob sees the protagonist, in this case, let's say Briggs, and says, are you out of retirement? So I thought that someone slightly older, like Tom Hardy, could work for this role, depending on how they want to take that. Retirement could just mean I stopped wanting to fight niggas for money. Or it could mean I'm 46, I'm tired.
Leave me alone.
Right. For Tom Hardy, it could be I'm 46, I'm tired. But yeah, use my Briggs. Jiu-jitsu these niggas.
Colin, who you got?
Jiu-jitsu these niggas is an incredible tag. That should be the tagline for the movie.
That should be the tagline for the movie. Def Jam Vendetta. Jiu-jitsu these niggas.
Good Lord.
So my Briggs, I went with Jason Statham.
Yo, I almost did that because I know he can fight.
That's the thing. Exactly. Like just looking at his filmography, like, yeah, man got hands. I know man got hands. And I know he's down to throw hands because all the movies he be doing.
Yeah, I think he only does movies that let him fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he fights in the Giant Shark movie.
He's an action star.
Well, of course he does.
Like, yeah. Fight a shark, fight anybody.
Fight a megalodon.
Yeah. I almost picked him. He was missing that. I feel like I could put him in a nigga movie.
Okay.
Kind of like flavor that I needed. So I was like,
I feel like you could put him
he's
in
not
a
just
nigga
white.
movie.
He's like
It wouldn't necessarily be
British
good.
white.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. He kind of looked like Manny, but it's only because he don't have hair.
The bald. But I was just like, if I put him in this movie, it would feel extremely out of place. And it's one thing for like a supporting character to feel out of place, but like the main character feeling out of place in the world is like, you know, it could do a fish out of water story or like, what's it called? An isekai?
Just not an isekai.
But yeah, good choice. He acts, he fights, it tracks. He's also what, like 50 something?
Something like it.
Yeah, and I was running out of angels that I felt comfortable with that age gap.
All right, it's my turn.
Yes.
Once again, looked at this character and said, yo, you remind me most of this actor. And you know what? It just so happened that this actor works really well for this character. It's Charlie Hunnam.
Oh,
Didn't think about that.
Yeah, blonde hair, white boy who can fight. He took up boxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to play King Arthur.
Nice.
He's a big dude.
See that?
I think King Arthur is the biggest that he's ever been.
Also, this is going to sound like on its face, this sounds like a weird statement.
Okay.
King Arthur's kind of a nigga. Like, if you've seen that movie.
That particular one, yes. Because it's Guy Ritchie.
He's a nigga. Like, he came from the streets. He was robbing people the way he talks. Like, that King Arthur would fit in Def Jam.
He was working in and owned a brothel. Like,
yeah, like, he was a hood nigga, just British.
And then on top of that, like, he played a gangster in Sons of Anarchy. So,
yeah.
Like, he'll fit in.
He can make it work.
We'll make it work. He's dope. I love Charlie Hunnam. He's one of my favorite actors out there. I've already named off like several roles just off the top where that would make him like really good for this role. Yeah, Charlie Hunnam's dope. And I want to see him kick more ass because he's so good at it in movies. And I feel like we just don't cast Charlie Hunnam enough. It's not even that I'm like, oh, he doesn't get to do that often. I'm like, no, we just don't cast him enough. Cast him more and maybe I could see him doing that more. Also,
in The Gentleman, he was really good as a gangster.
Yes, a more gentleman gangster.
Yeah.
But a gangster all the same.
Who pull out the gun.
Also, I like how we all chose Englishmen.
That's crazy. Yeah.
To play this discharged U.S. Marine.
Wild.
That's fine. It's fine. Anyway, we're going to move on to Tank. Tank is a talented rapper with a loyal Japanese fan base, and Tank came to New York with dreams of scoring a recording contract with a North American record label. He started fighting on the New York circuit to make ends meet. Dallas, who you got?
All right, so Tank apparently is Japanese. When I played the game as a kid, I thought he was just a light-skinned dude who for some reason had Japanese writing on his shirt.
I think I thought that too.
This is why
he has a do-rag on under a baseball cap.
I was looking at pictures of these people and I was like, I cannot tell.
Yeah, like reading their website. Audience, I encourage you, if you're into Def Jam Vendetta, go read the wiki because you're going to learn some things. That apparently Proof was the only black protagonist. I thought Briggs was the only one who wasn't black, but...
That's a good point. I think I did too.
I thought Spider was a light-skinned dude. I thought Tank was a bigger light-skinned dude. I was like, he likes Japanese stuff. There's a lot of niggas in the street with tattoos of Japanese stuff on their arm.
Black people love anime.
Black people, yeah. Shut up, Colin.
What was
I going to say? Oh, Tank. I have 2 Tanks because I apologize, but I don't know a lot of Japanese actors who aren't like
Same.
Girl Yuki's age. So...
Because that's usually how long it takes for Hollywood to realize that these people exist for some
like,
reason.
This dude's dope. Oh, he's 60. Oh, okay. We don't have a lot of time left with him, but make him work. Or like Ken Watanabe, also old, but
also just came out in a movie that we can't talk about because
that's true.
But...
using that.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So I have a Tank that I picked because he's the one Japanese actor I know, and then I have the Tank that I actually think I would rather see in the role, but that guy's not Japanese, and I kind of felt bad, so I'm putting both of them.
Start with the second one.
The second one.
Start with the one that's not Japanese.
Got you. Okay. My Tank is Joe Taslim.
Oh, I love Joe Taslim.
Because...
I think I considered that too.
I looked at it, I was like, Taslim, I was like, that name don't sound Japanese at all. And it's not. He's Singaporean. Here's the thing. He has the martial arts skills to be Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat, but he's also cool enough
to be on Blind Spotting.
And hood enough to serenade a woman with an E40 song in Blind Spotting. I pray I don't go back to selling Yayo. And when I saw him, I was like, that's perfect. That was him. That was Sub-Zero.
Incredible.
Playing a dude named Mustafa. And I was just like...
That's not who I imagined when they said this man's name was Mustafa.
Like, what's Sub-Zero doing here? But yeah, you playing a dude named Mustafa and playing E40 songs on the radio or on the piano, you should be in Def Jam Vendetta. And I know you can scrap, but you're not Japanese. So the other person is Andrew Koji.
Oh, also put Andrew Koji.
Okay. I was like, Bullet Train. I know he can fight. I was trying to think of somebody closer to Tank's size.
I was too, and I couldn't find
anyone. I thought like maybe Jacob Batalump, he's Filipino.
And like somebody closer to like his skin tone as well.
Yeah, I was like, this is a tough one because he's Japanese, but he's also kind of brown and he's plus size. And y'all made this tough for me. But I've said this in Fancast before. I am a regular dude. I don't work in a casting office. I don't know all the actors. I can't do a casting call. I can only go off what I know. If I had all the resources, I would find someone who is Japanese, who is built like Tank. I don't know all those people. So I got Andrew Koji.
I also got Andrew Koji. I got Andrew Koji for the same exact reasons. I saw him in Snake Eyes, which is not a particularly great movie, but he got hands. Shadow? Yes.
Yeah.
He got hands. He's also in Warrior, the HBO Max show, which I really want to watch, and I still haven't gotten to it yet, but I plan to. But he got to have hands in that show too, because that show is also a martial arts show based off of the ideas of Bruce Lee, I believe.
Nice.
I hope I got that right. I'm pretty sure it's Bruce Lee.
It is, yes. Original concept and treatment by Bruce Lee.
Yes. Okay.
And executive produced
Glad I
by his daughter.
That. Yes.
Hey.
I was like, I know it's related to Bruce Lee somehow. But yeah, Andrew Koji's dope. Like you said, he was most recently in Bullet Train. But yeah, for me, I was like, it's based off of Snake Eyes and the fact that he is on that show Warriors, which I know has a bunch of fighting in it.
We know you can scrap.
And Andrew Koji's a good actor because his character in Bullet Train is way different than Storm Shadow.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So he's got the range.
Yeah.
We love that. Also, like I said about Tom Hardy, I want to feel like you can hang with the niggas. And I haven't seen that from Andrew. I don't know that you can't, but I haven't seen it yet because I haven't seen a lot of his work.
Just a fun fact. Andrew Koji and Joe Taslim are both in Warrior, the show.
They are both in Warrior.
That's dope. Look at that. Both
that was why Joe Taslim came to mind, was because I was looking at the Warrior cast list and was like, oh yeah, Joe.
I briefly thought about gender swapping Tank, but the logistics of that are tricky because every other fighter in this game, for the most part, is male. And, and
big.
Yeah, it's like, you can fight dudes. I don't know what the rules of the Fight Club are. I don't know that they would do that because they have female fighters in the games, but they fight each other, not the dudes.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, get into a whole logistics thing, but that would also be like, if I made this movie and all of these characters were in it, like maybe Tank, she could be like a different type, like not the one fighting all these niggas. But yes, I almost cast Rina Sawayama.
Yay!
Because of John Wick.
She was killing it in John Wick, bro.
I don't know if
like,
she got hands like that.
No, she does in John Wick. She got hands.
If I've seen you on screen have hands, I know you can at least convincingly look like you have hands.
And she had one of the best action sequences in John Wick, which is
Respect.
a lot to say in a John
Girl
Wick
is
movie.
good at what she does.
Mm-hmm. But Colin, who's your Tank?
So my Tank is Brian T, who's known for several things. You would know him from the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, where he played the lead villain.
He came to mind too.
He was also in the Wolverine.
DK.
Yeah.
Drift King.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like I was basically basing it off of like you were in. Oh man, he was in a YouTube series where he played Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat. Yeah, like he played Shredder in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Like, you have what you.
I feel it. Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't. Like, I think I remember thinking of his name or seeing his name come up when I was looking up Japanese people.
Mm-hmm.
But had I known that he was like, had I remembered that he was Drift King, I might have thought of him more because Fast and Furious is very nigga adjacent.
True.
Like Tyree's been in there since 2002.
Jason Statham is in those movies though, so
he is. That's true, but also like by the time he showed up, there were action movies, like still nigga adjacent, but like it feels more street level nigga adjacent when they're in Tokyo Drift. But cool, we all found someone Japanese and Joe Tesla. Love that.
All right, that takes us to Spider. As a teenager, Spider was hit in a drive-by shooting while walking home. He took 2 bullets. One shattered his left leg and the other lodged in his skull, leaving him in a coma for several weeks. Unable to pursue his basketball dreams, Spider turned to fighting as a means to make money and focus his rage. Dallas, who you got?
Like, bro, how are y'all not giving us these stories in the game?
Like that, I read his story and I was like, I don't know what the shots did to his body, but like then he decided I'm a fight. Like, damn, all right,
right. Like he was a prominent basketball player. Also, Tank is a rapper in Japan. Like these people have full lives before this game starts. That the game is like, don't worry about it.
And like long before this game starts, because this game starts 3 years after they got kicked out the circuit.
Right. So. Like you were a prominent basketball player in Puerto Rico, got shot.
In New York. No, he got shot in New York.
He got shot in New York. Okay. I know it said something about him being raised in Puerto Rico, and then I guess he moved to Spanish Harlem.
He immigrated to New York.
He got shot. It's rough out there.
Wild
times. But I was just like, oh, snap, Spider is Puerto Rican. He's not just a light-skinned black dude. Good to know. So I was like, who's Puerto Rican? Who can fight or fake fight? And I landed on Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, a.k.a. Bad Bunny, because Bad Bunny, in addition to being Puerto Rican and a rapper, which Def Jam, is also an occasional professional wrestler.
What?
Yeah. Bad Bunny is really into wrestling. And wrestling has always, been tied to other celebrities because it is an entertainment industry. And sometimes, like, Freddie Prinze Jr. is really into wrestling. Also Puerto Rican, but too old and not nigga enough. Sometimes they get really into it and then take to it. Like, Bad Bunny has wrestled several matches. And I've seen some of the clips, and he's really good at it. To the point I was like, I don't know anything about Bad Bunny. I don't listen to his music. I can't understand it. But I know he's super popular. And I know he was also in Bullet Train. He didn't do a whole lot, but he's worked with David Leitch. Wrestling is, quote unquote fake fighting, but you are really doing all the physical stuff there. So in terms of being in a fight on camera, I know he can do that. Also, fun fact, the company that made Def Jam Vendetta was making wrestling games before. And this game's format and gameplay structure is very similar to the wrestling games I used to play when I was a little kid. And that's why all these fights take place in a wrestling ring. Like, it's not just a fight. Like in Def Jam Fight from New York, a lot of them are just like in a basement or in a parking lot.
Yeah.
But in this one, they're in wrestling rings. Like, even the strip club has a wrestling ring in it for some reason.
They put that there.
They just put it there.
It's kind of like stadiums where they do like stadium tours. It's like, we got to put the stage up.
Put the stage up.
Put the wrestling ring in.
Yeah. So, like, this is a wrestling game.
Keep the pole in the middle.
Yeah. It plays like a wrestling game. They have the ropes. They have the turnbuckle. It's made by a company who makes wrestling games. Like Bad Bunny, he's a wrestler. He's a rapper. He's Puerto Rican. He could be my Spider. Also, one of the things I wrote in my notes is because the protagonists don't talk, I was like, I don't even know if Bad Bunny speaks English, but to be honest, I don't know if Spider does either. because he doesn't say any English in the game.
Do the protagonists never speak?
No. And the second one, you talk a lot.
That's wild because Angel constantly is speaking to this dude.
People talk to him constantly. Everyone is talking to him. He only responds in like
grunts.
Looks. He just like
What?
looks disapprovingly at Manny. He looks lovingly at Angel. He looks angrily at D-Mob.
That's
He
a
doesn't have a
Don't
voice.
make no
that's
sense.
very much that's a film concept right there that I can't think of what the name of it is, but
Yeah,
the
it's
one where you just take like a shot of one face. It's just the same expression, but if you cut other things.
the Kuleshov effect.
Yes, the Kuleshov
Yeah,
effect.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. That's what that is.
Yeah, you show Angel, you show him. Like he loves her.
For those who don't know what the Kuleshov effect is, basically the idea is that you take an image of somebody making a particular face, and then you cut an image next to it, and the expression on the face appears to change based off of whatever you cut to be next to it.
Yeah, so it will be the same face, but the example usually given is you show a dude with a pretty blank stare.
It's like a neutral expression.
Yeah, neutral expression, and then you show a steak, and then you cut back to that dude with that expression. You're like, oh, he looks hungry. And then you show that dude with that face. You cut to some titties, and then you show that dude.
Oh, he's horny.
Oh, he's horny. He likes them titties. But the face isn't changing. It's just our association with all of the images. It's like, oh, we saw that dude looking at steak. He must be hungry.
And that is your film fact for the day from this movie podcast.
Yeah, brought to you by Def Jam Vendetta.
Based, bro.
We love it. Anyway, yeah, Bad Bunny.
I didn't get that degree for nothing.
Colin, who's your spider?
Sorry, I got lost in the Kuleshov effect because I had never heard of it.
Fair.
This man is expressionless.
Yeah,
We both learned it in school.
Yeah, I don't think most people know what it is
It's
unless
not
you
common.
go to film school. And
That's fair.
yeah, that's why we explained it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my spider is Ramon Rodriguez, who
I don't know that
think
name.
was in, I believe, what is Dallas your father's favorite show?
The Wire?
Yes. And also was in other stuff, but that was just the reference that I thought to make. He was also apparently in Iron Fist and The Defenders.
Oh, this guy. I've seen this guy.
Yeah.
He was in Transformers.
Yeah, that
He
too.
was in, I think he was Sam's roommate.
Revenge of the Fallen. He was, the character's name
Leo
is Leo.
Spitz.
I don't know who that is. There's too many characters in the movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. He was nominated for that movie at the
Wow.
Alma Awards.
Good for him.
Shout out to Hispanic Heritage Month. Hispanic Heritage
Hey.
Month, by the way. He's doing a lot of stuff.
And he's Puerto Rican, so it works.
Have you watched him in anything?
I don't think so. Well, I don't know if I've
I guess
seen
you watched
Revenge
Iron
of the
Fist,
Fallen.
right?
I did watch Iron Fist, and I watched The Defenders. So yes.
So you were just looking for a Puerto Rican.
Ye-
I mean, you found one.
Oh,
I did.
he's Bakudo.
Is that Iron Fist?
Yes.
Okay. Also, this is good because this dude is from New York, and I was trying to find more actors from New York for these roles because this is a very New York-based story.
Mhm.
But I ain't got those. But you do. So shout out to you.
Hey.
He's born in Puerto Rico, and then he moved to New York, just like Spider.
But did he get shot twice?
I
hope
doubt it. I really
I don't know
hope
this man's
not.
life like that.
All right, guys, that takes us to me. My choice is Christian Navarro. Some of y'all are probably like, oh, that dude from 13 Reasons Why. I ain't never seen 13 Reasons Why. I chose Christian Navarro because I am a fan of his from his guest appearances on Critical Role. He has been very fun on Critical Role. He has played 2 different characters, I think, on that show. Each of them has been extremely different, and they have both been a joy to watch, and that just shows me how much range he has. Plus, these are characters that he's had to come up with like on his own. Like these are, well, not on his own, like probably with the help of Matthew Mercer and like the rest of the people who he's playing with. But for the most part, like he's creating this character and it's and their demeanor and how they behave and their personalities and stuff like that. And then he's just improvising and playing it out on a live stream. And he's fantastic.
Nice.
That's why I chose him. He's also Puerto Rican. The one thing is that he would have to like look scarier.
Yeah, this guy doesn't look very scary.
No, he doesn't look very scary. They would have to just make him look scarier. But
Movie magic.
right, he just gotta like shave his head and make him look taller.
Also, from the Bronx,
Hey,
New York.
he is from New York.
which the Bronx, from what I've heard, is rough out there. When niggas look like Spider. So, shout out to the Bronx.
Yep. But yeah, that's my choice, Christian Navarro. So that takes us to Manny,
Manny.
who is finally not one of the protagonists of the game. After many brushes with the law, Manny was sent to prison for 2 years on an armed robbery charge. In prison, he made contact with an associate of D-Mob who set him up with a job in New York once he was released. Manny's gambling problems are well known, and his large debt has led him to fighting in the ring to pay D-Mob back. He is basically the catalyst of this entire freaking game. Dallas, who did you choose?
So Manny was an interesting one because according to that wiki, he's from Boston. And I was like, who's from Boston? Mark Wahlberg? No. Matt Damon? No. Ben Affleck? All these niggas are old. So I said, forget Boston.
Interesting.
Yeah. Also, Manny doesn't fight in the game because he's injured the whole time. When the game starts, his arm is broken. And when the game ends, he is shot. But
That's
also
right.
his arm is broken. So Manny, if they stick to that story, doesn't need to fight. So I picked someone who I've never seen fight. What? I guess he has fought in a movie. I picked Rafael Casal.
Hey.
Because after blind spotting, he's my go-to white boy who gets his black friend into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And he plays that role very well. So yeah, Rafael Casal. Also, with them being in New York, I was thinking it'd be interesting if Manny was half Hispanic. There's a lot of Hispanic people in New York. Also a lot of white people, but you know, I like to mix it up.
Especially with this game.
Yeah. But yeah, Rafael Gasol, I think he could do it very well. The fast talking. He could just be Miles, to be honest. Miles is a nigga. Like,
I would not be excited to see Rafael Casal shave his head. That would hurt.
that was part of the thing. I was like, could he pull off the baldy?
It would hurt my soul.
Wasn't he pretty?
Did he?
I mean, I guess it was buzzed in Blind Spotting season 2, wasn't it?
I guess it's shorter.
Yeah.
That's true.
But like, man, he got the balls. He got the baldy.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing
And
there.
I was like, I was trying to picture like tatted up arms, the beard, and the baldy. I was like,
it's Miles. But
yeah, Miles just cut his hair off and put his arm in a cast, so he ain't got to fight nobody. But yeah, Rafael Gasol is my Manny.
I like it.
Colin, who you got?
Thank you.
So it was kind of, I looked at this biography, I saw Boston, and I stopped caring. So I chose Ben Affleck.
What did Boston do to you?
And nothing.
I admire.
I didn't stop caring in the way that
you
I don't
looking
like
at
Boston. What I mean is, I saw Boston and said, okay, I'm going for Ben Affleck based on that, and didn't read anything else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was like, I saw Boston. That's enough for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which
That's
Couldn't
all
be
I need.
sure.
I respect that. I respect that you even looked at the city.
I didn't even look at I just saw, I was reading the thing and it said Boston, and I said, okay, Ben Affleck, I'm done. That's it. It was like 5 seconds.
I mean, to be fair, Ben Affleck looks like he can fight. We've seen him play Batman, so
That's
He
true.
also apparently doesn't need to fight, so hey, that works.
he doesn't need
Also
to.
that.
But I would argue that he at least should look like he's been
Like he
fighting
can.
recently.
Yeah, you should look like he
Mhm.
can fight.
Yeah.
Like the only reason he's not fighting is because his arm's broken,
Mm-hmm.
and that happened recent. So
Yeah,
you gotta at least look the part.
yeah.
You don't have to fight nobody, but you gotta look like it.
Look like you can fight somebody.
Yeah.
Cool. I respect it.
All right, y'all. I got 2 choices for Manny.
Oh, interesting.
I'll explain why. So my first choice, obviously, I looked at Boston, was like, Boston actors, go. And my first choice that I looked at was Jeremy Strong, who is most well known for
Interesting.
Succession. I ain't never seen all the things that I've seen Jeremy Strong in. I cannot tell you right now
Which one is, he's
what
that
he
one.
did in
Okay.
those movies. However, I hear so much amazing stuff about Jeremy
Such an
Strong
interesting
from
choice.
Succession that I want to see him do something like this. I'm like, take all that acting prowess you got and put it into this. I want to see what comes
Wait,
from it.
it's so funny because
It's clown work,
we just
but I
talked
want to
about
see it.
you got to look like you can fight. If I had to think of an actor who don't look like he can fight,
Nah, but my
you remember him in The Gentleman, right?
I don't. That's the thing. That's
He's
the
the
thing, though.
dude. That's the thing, though. He's the dude that Matthew McConaughey makes get in the freezer. My wife.
My wife.
Like that.
You know
dude.
what's funny? I downloaded that GIF last night so I could send it to somebody.
But yeah, that's Jeremy Strong.
That's right. That is him.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay, so here's the thing. My philosophy is, because too many people, I believe, like when we get like superhero casting, people are like, oh, they're too scrawny or blah, blah. Like Robert Pattinson, and when he got cast to play Batman, Henry Cavill, even when he got
Really?
cast to play Superman, Henry Cavill was not always as big as he is now.
No, but he was at least not like small.
He wasn't
He was
small.
Immortals.
But, Immortals, he's actually small. He's very lean,
Okay.
but he has an 8-pack. But he's not. But he's
Immortal.
not big.
Okay, fair. Yeah, Superman is huge.
Yeah, Superman
He's
is
huge as
huge.
Superman.
And so I just feel like in situations like these, let these people bulk up first, and then they'll probably look like they can fight. Like Will Poulter typically does not look like he could beat you up.
Yeah.
But you look at him in Guardians and you're like, nah, he probably could beat me up.
Yeah, if after We're the Millers, they were like, oh, he's going to be Adam, I'll be like, no, he's not. Don't do that.
Don't do that. But then they work out.
He's swole.
And they get swole, and you're like, yeah, that dude probably can fight somebody. Also, imagine Jeremy Strong just covered in tattoos. I just think that this would be fascinating.
Look at his Wikipedia picture.
I know.
Colin, I need you to look up Jeremy Strong's Wikipedia
No,
picture.
I just did. Yeah, that's like...
It's the least intimidating thing I've ever seen.
Like, sell you chocolate for a school trip or something.
Right.
That's not a...
I need y'all to know that they talk so much about how good of an actor he is. I just need to see that range.
I'm sure he is.
This would be the best show, like the best show of his range
ever.
This man playing Manny would be amazing.
But also, I chose him specifically because of the reaction that you guys are having now, because it's the same reaction I had. I was like, he don't look like he could do it, but I want to see it.
He looks like he's never seen a fight.
He was in a show called Mob City, so maybe.
Maybe.
I bet he wasn't fighting nobody.
He was in The Gentleman. He clearly wasn't that gangster.
No, he wasn't.
Anyway, my second choice, also from Boston, our boy, the man, the myth, the legend, Chris Evans.
Thought about him too. And, Chris Jamal Evans could definitely... He can fight.
Chris Evans can fight. I mean, Captain America, we've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen it.
He's done
we know.
many of action roles.
And he's also already covered in tattoos, so just put more on him. Yeah, he has a number of them. Just put more on him. He would have to shave his head, which I feel like Chris Evans has at least had a buzz cut before for one of his movies. So he probably, so he would probably look good.
I want to say it was partially buzzed for Fantastic Four.
Yeah, he had pretty short hair.
That's right. Yeah, that was when I first became attracted to Chris Evans, Johnny Storm. But yeah, like he could look the part. And also we know that Chris Evans is a good actor. And he's also really, like, Manny's not a scumbag per se, but Manny's also not a good person. So
if you told me Manny was a scumbag, I'd be like, I feel you.
Yeah,
he has kind of scumbag
he's
vibes.
Scummy.
Yeah.
And Chris Evans, like, I know that he played Captain America for a very, very long time, but Chris Evans is also very good at playing a scumbag.
Yeah, he's got range. He can be the big blue Boy Scout, which I know refers to Superman, but also applies to Captain America.
It does.
But he could also be, he has been such a douche in so many things.
I mean, even just Knives Out was basically him going back to his roots of playing a douche. So Chris Evans would be a really good choice for this. He would pull it off. He'd be great for it. Those are my two choices for Manny. One of which is just, I'm intrigued. I just want to know. And the other one is, you would actually just be really good at this.
That's so interesting. Yeah, I thought about Chris Evans. And then I was like, let me try to put Miles in here somewhere.
I had to do it for Gabby, but also I couldn't
feel it.
I couldn't remember if Manny fights in the game or not. I thought he did for like one or two. Maybe I'm remembering the second game. So I just wanted to make sure I knew for sure I had somebody who could fight.
No, this is just the Wikipedia of the man himself, so obviously that wouldn't translate. But like, I'm on Jeremy Strong's Wikipedia page, and just like, he's so philosophical. Like, he doesn't do method acting. He does identity diffusion. If I have any method at all, it is simply this: to clear away anything that is not the character and the circumstances of the scene. And usually that means clearing away almost everything around and inside you so that you can be a more complete vessel for the work at hand. I don't see that man fighting.
Guys, no. Because take that philosophy and make him play Manny.
That's the funny thing. It's because it was like, on one hand, all this tells me your hands don't even work. But it could also tell me that you would be so dedicated to the role that he would come out full nigga. Like, he would come out as Manny if he got the role.
Fair.
I don't want to see it, but I want to see it.
Exactly.
It's so interesting.
It's such an interesting, and I had to do it just so that everybody else could join me in just imagining how incredible that could be. All right, let's get on to the boss man himself, D-Mob. While still in his teens, he turned a neighborhood corner into a network of hustlers who worked for him and was a bona fide crime lord by the time he came to New York. In his bid to control the city's underworld, he began buying up clubs all over town, running illegal fights and gambling operations out of them. Dallas, who you got?
So, to me, you had it right last time. It's Michael Jai White.
Let's do it. No, we're sticking with it. I also chose Michael Jai White.
Michael Jai White.
We said it last episode, so we're sticking to it.
Yeah, like, he is swole. He is intimidating. He is a martial artist. Like,
and he's older.
A legitimate martial artist. He is older.
Funny story, he's also directed a martial arts movie. I think he's directed several of them. The one that I'm thinking of is Never Back Down 2, though.
Okay. He's been in many action movies. He's done many fighting scenes. He's a legitimate martial artist.
Yeah, and he's an attractive dude. So if Angel's...
He's a good-looking dude. I've seen him with the baldy and the beard. He makes it work.
And if Angel's going to go after some man who's older than her like that, at least let him be attractive, because
yeah,
Lord.
Also thinking that him being older than Angel could also have that, like, give the audience the ick that they should have when they see D-Mob.
It's already an ick factor.
Yeah, there's already like a power dynamic that's weird. But yeah,
even without the age difference, it's already a weird power dynamic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the power dynamic's already there. So just make him older. Just up the ick.
I mean, the video game already got him older, so just up it. Just keep it going.
But also, his voice.
Yes.
He has a good voice. It carries enough weight that he played Doomsday in the Justice League cartoon.
Nice.
And Doomsday, for those who don't know, is the nigga that punched Superman to death in the comics. So just everything about Michael Jai White says D-Mob.
Yeah, that's why when I said it last episode, like, it didn't take long for me to say it while we were recording it. I was like, who would we get to play It's Michael Jai White. Like, there's
freaking Black Dynamite.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because I sat down and I thought about all these characters and I was like, Michael Jai White. It's like, I want to try to think of someone else.
But we already did it.
But I was like, I'm not going to find anyone better. So let me just use Mark. Also, from New York. So that works.
Although
he studies 9 types of martial art.
To be fair, though, D-Mob is from Baltimore, but...
D-Mob is from Baltimore. Oh, well.
I don't care.
He's from New York now. But yeah, he studies 9 types of martial. Who does that?
I mean, people who are about their business, who really love martial arts.
About that life. He studies martial arts I've never seen before.
Yeah. He's really about that life.
Kyokushin. I don't know what that is. Apparently it's a type of karate. He knows it.
Probably got a black belt in it.
And that's the crazy thing, is like, you fight all these street dudes and a bunch of rappers, and then you get to D-Mob and he whips out one of his 9 types of martial art. It's like, okay.
I see why you got beat the last time.
Right. I see why he dog walked you. Oh, he also played Jax in a Mortal Kombat web series. That's fun.
I wonder if it's the same web series that Colin brought up earlier.
It is, yeah.
That's really... Oh, that's great. Love that.
There we go. I don't have much more to add to that. We've just...
Yeah.
Dallas said everything.
He can fight, he can act, everything.
Colin, who you got?
Who's your D-Mob, Colin?
All right. So I looked at D-Mob and I was like, okay, big nigga. Like, that's the main thing. So first of all, rest in peace, Michael Clark Duncan, because...
Yeah.
Yep.
You know?
You've been great.
Yeah. But my D-Mob is Winston James Francis, who was in Glow for a couple episodes. He was in
Glow with a G or Blow with a B?
Glow, the wrestling one.
Oh, I watched that show.
You did. He played a character named Goliath, so...
Oh, this guy. Yeah. This is a large, scary man. He's always playing large, scary men.
Also, apparently, his next thing is a thing called Scroll Wheel of Time, which is like about these rappers who get an iPod that actually lets them time travel, and just that name is so good.
I want to see that. That sounds amazing.
I wonder if you like choose the song and it takes you to that time that it came out.
Ah, that would be dope.
Ooh, that could be good and bad.
This guy would make a good D-Mob. He's terrifying.
And like once I saw that he was in Glow, I'm like, okay, yeah, he probably got hands.
At the very least, looks like he could put you through a wall.
Exactly, which I felt like the presence was kind of the main thing that you would probably need.
Oh, absolutely. D-Mob has a lot of presence for somebody that you don't fight until the end of the game.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't want to fight this man in any circumstances.
No, because he'd be wearing suits the whole time, but he looks like he will break out of the... Well, I mean, he does break out of the suit, I think, so...
Yeah. This is a good one. This is a good choice.
Thanks.
Before we move on to our next and final character, I do want to give a shout out to Christopher Judge, who does the voice of D-Mob. Also a big black dude.
Did a great job.
See, that was part of it too, is that like once I knew that Christopher Judge did the voice, it's like you gotta measure up to Christopher Judge. Like that's hard.
Yeah, Christopher Judge is a fantastic actor, period.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I need somebody with a voice that's also like, all right, I'll get Spawn/Doomsday.
All right. That takes us to our final character, which is Angel. The protagonist's ex-girlfriend who left him for D-Mob after promises of a record deal. Throughout the story, it's clear Angel still has feelings for the protagonist, showing signs of jealousy towards his new girlfriends and secretly sending him gifts as they reestablish their connection. Dallas, who you got?
I have 2 angels because...
Oh, this is going to be a round.
Protagonists, they fluctuate in ages. And
I gave up.
I had some younger ones, I had some older ones, and it was like, I had one angel, and then I started to cast some people. Like, I got to, like, Tom Hardy, and I was like, I don't like that pairing.
Bro, I just was like, well.
I think I didn't like it more because part of my D-Mob casting was the ick of the age gap. And I was like, well, I don't want to make that for the protagonist too. But anyway, my first angel is Horizon F. Guardiola.
Hey!
Because, man, the get down. Mylene, there haven't been a lot of times where I watch a show and then see an actress on screen and be like, wait a minute. Let me pause this for a second and just gather myself.
Who are you?
Who is this woman? But, man, she's so pretty.
She is very pretty. And still so pretty.
Yeah. I don't see her a lot. I don't see her in a lot of stuff. I would like to. I know she can sing.
Yep.
To be honest, once I read the backstory for Angel, I was like, oh, it's kind of like Mylene. From New York, you want to sing. You got this angry, brooding nigga who really, really likes you.
Jeez.
But yeah, I was like, okay, she's kind of like Mylene. Horizon, she looks the part. Afro-Latina, which was important for me. I think she's around the age that Christina Milian was when the role when she played her 20 years ago. Also think, if I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken, so sorry if I'm wrong. I think the Latina in her is Cuban.
Christina Milian is Cuban.
Yeah, and I think Horizon had the same thing going. So I was like, oh, look at that, it works. Or I'm wrong and it doesn't. Either way, Horizon. My second one, I was like, well, let's go a little bit older. Let's make the age gap a little closed. Tessa Thompson. Because she's great. We've seen her be great.
Yes.
All over the place.
We about to go through so many Afro-Latina actresses.
We love that. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month. She can also sing. She can act. She can do everything that we need Angel to do. Also, great chemistry with Michael B. Jordan. We done seen it.
You right?
Yeah. So I don't really need to explain why Tessa Thompson is
in fact, one of the saddest things about the Creed franchise being over is Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson not working together anymore. So
right. If we get this movie made with this guy, we can make it happen. But yes, also I just double checked. Horizon is Cuban, so shout out to accuracy.
Love that.
Yeah. But yeah, those are my angels.
Colin, who you got?
All right, so I just kind of assumed, and perhaps I was incorrect in this, I'm realizing, that Angel should also be able to throw hands, just in case. I just feel like everybody should be able to throw hands if they're in a Def Jam thing.
Definitely should.
I chose Michelle Rodriguez.
Interesting. She's been throwing hands in movies for 2 decades. Yeah. Maybe longer.
And we love her for it.
Yeah. She is.
Also, I think she's about the same age as my actor for D-Mob, and so that just felt like, yeah, okay.
He didn't want that disgustingness. He didn't want that ick.
He didn't want the ick.
What? Okay, hold on. What is that? Is that a thing that the kids say now?
What, the ick?
No, I think that's just me and Dallas.
Yeah. No, it's a thing.
Is it?
It's a thing.
It's
nice.
I don't know where any of these things start or when or how, but
like when people started saying Riz, I was like, was that the thing now?
Yeah, it always comes out, and it's always, by the time I look up, everyone has already been using it to the point where I can't trace it.
Yeah.
But it gives me the ick. That's a thing.
My brother was super excited when he heard them use the term Riz in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
With your Riz, not likely.
And he was like, I was glad that they used it, but also they didn't use it too much.
That's true, yeah. They just sprinkled it in there. But yeah, Michelle Rodriguez, she be scrapping.
Yeah, no, 2 decades, because I think she was about 18 when she filmed the first Fast and Furious movie, and that came out in 2001.
Wild.
Also, according to Wikipedia, she played a troubled boxer in the independent film Girl Fight.
See, I saw that and I was like, yo, also, this really doesn't have any bearing on it. But if you go to the legal issues section of her Wikipedia article, the first one is about a fight. So, you know.
Oh, the rest of her soul get in a fight with a roommate.
I think what's funny is that Michelle Rodriguez is so if you look at interviews with her or her Instagram and stuff, she's so inner peace type of person, but she will fight you.
The next thing is she had 8 misdemeanor charges. What? Bro, calm down.
No.
But yeah, she lives her art.
That's why we love her. That's why we said that her D&D character is the most her character she's ever played.
But yeah, public service announcement to the audience: don't go fight people in the street. It's bad.
It's very bad.
Or in your place, I guess. Just don't fight people.
Oh my goodness. All right. I'm going to take us out with my 2 choices for Angel. My first choice, I'm not sure if she's Afro-Latina. I know that she is Latina. She's brown and looks like she could be Afro-Latina, so I can't be completely certain. But I know for a fact that she's Puerto Rican. It is Cheyenne Isabel Wells, most well known for Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies. She's wonderful on that show. She plays my favorite character on that show. And because it's a musical, she be singing.
Oh yeah.
And she be singing real good. She has some of my favorite songs on that show. And that's about the only thing she's done.
Yes.
Before that show, she was doing like theatrical plays. She did Little Shop of Horrors in Pasadena at the Playhouse.
Nice.
And she used to work and she used to work at Disneyland. That is like her history before doing Grace the Rise of the Pink Ladies.
Nice. Glad you got her back.
So when I was looking for her ethnicity, I was like, bro, you're too new. Google was like, she's Caucasian. I was like, you're lying to me. I know she has green eyes, but no, you can't be right.
They're like, yeah, Caucasian. We don't know. Figure it out later.
That's basically what happened. But yeah, she's great. She's fantastic on that show. Her character has a lot of ups and downs, a lot of different, like she's kind of like the bad girl, but it's mostly just her reputation. She's deep down, she's really not a bad girl, and she's very much still a child. And she has a lot of stuff that she has to go through on that show, and she plays it up beautifully. My other choice for Angel is Ariana DeBose, Oscar winner.
I knew it.
Of course.
Yeah, it's funny because I thought of when I wanted everyone to be a certain level of young. I was like, Afro-Latino. I was like, Ariana DeBose. I was like, Demi's going to pick Ariana DeBose.
I got her. She out here. Oscar winner, Disney princess.
Yeah, we know she can sing.
She's singing. She is singing. And I know for a fact she's Afro-Latina.
Yeah.
For a fact. So much so that they actually made the character Anita in West Side Story Afro-Latina because she is Afro-Latina in real life. So they added that layer onto it for the remake of the movie. So shout out to Spielberg for that. I appreciate you for doing that. She's so talented. As I said, she's an Oscar winner. She is phenomenal. One of the standouts in West Side Story. And I look forward to her career going forward. She was also in the original cast of Hamilton. You can catch her playing the Bullet in the Disney Plus Pro Shot of Hamilton. And yeah, she's coming up soon in actually the day that this podcast released. You guys can probably catch her in Kraven the Hunter.
Oh.
All right, that's still a thing that is coming out.
Yeah. She's Calypso.
Calypso. Yeah. So the day that this podcast comes out, you guys can probably check her out in Kraven the Hunter.
Maybe she'll throw hands. She probably will.
Probably.
Be weird if she didn't.
I don't know. I don't know with those Sony movies. You never know.
You never know what they're going to do.
I'll never know.
But I think Calypso is a character that'd be scrapping.
Yeah, but she might be like so much of a supporting character that they're like, we'll save it for the sequel.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
That's what they do. Anyway, yeah, those are all of our choices for Angel. That is our Fancast for Fancast Friday. I don't have any bonus choices because everybody else is basically a rap star.
Yeah, pick whatever rappers you want.
Yeah. Do you want this to be a period piece or do you want this to be a modern contemporary piece? That's up to you. Dallas, do you have a director-writer combo for us? I feel like you do.
Not only do I have a director and writer, I have a fight scene / stunt coordinator for this one.
I bet you do.
But it's only because
I do want to say that I forgot that Michael Jai White also directs, so I was like, yo, he also would be a really good choice for a director of this movie.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen anything he's directed.
I've only seen one movie. Continue.
I know he directed fight movies. My writer and director,
David Leitch.
Almost.
Tastelski.
So, here's the thing. I'm going to take you through my process.
Okay.
I was like, I want a director who directs action very well. I thought of David Leitch. I thought of Chad Stahelski. But for me, more importantly, I wanted someone who was going to get the vibe. It's kind of like the Jason Statham situation. I was like, I want someone who's going to bring the feeling that this story should have.
You don't know. They could be like Craig Brewer.
Who's Craig Brewer?
Craig Brewer is the dude who directed the Footloose remake, but he also directed Hustle and Flow.
That's really funny. I would love to give him a shot, but I was like, I want someone who I know is like, of the culture. So Ryan Coogler is my director and writer.
I love it.
And it's because I was like, oh, right, Creed. He made the first Creed. He can do fight scenes. Part of me was thinking about, let me give Michael B. Jordan a shot because Creed 3, he was doing his thing. And the anime influence could also translate to video game style influence.
It was banging.
So you know what? My directors are Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler as co-directors.
No, love that.
Ryan Coogler writing the script and Chad Stahelski consulting on fight scenes because that man knows how to shoot a fight scene.
Doesn't he also run a stunt team that people?
Chad Stahelski?
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think he runs a stunt team that people that Hollywood uses. Just
I could see
in general.
I could definitely see that.
And also, he does like second unit directing, I think, or was that David Leitch? It's one of the two of them.
I think it's both because I know one of them did second unit on Birds of Prey.
Yeah, and that's whoever I'm thinking of.
I get them mixed up because they both started with John Wick, and then Chad Stahelski stayed with John Wick, and David Leitch started doing other stuff. I love them both, but I wanted a director who was black.
Yes, Stahelski was the second unit director for Civil War and Birds of Prey.
Okay, yeah, it was Chad Stahelski. But yeah, I was like, I'll bring him in for some action consulting, get me some dope looking fight scenes. But like him, Michael B. Jordan, and Ryan Coogler all in a room plotting out these fights, that would be my favorite movie ever. So those are my dudes. Those are my dudes doing the things. They're making the things, they're doing the stuff.
And that's it. That's our Fancast.
That is our Fancast. We did it.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for listening to all of that. As always, thank you, Crown Digital, Brandon, and Io for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. To me, thank you for editing, putting us on YouTube, and actually giving me the idea to put this on the Fancast list, because I never would have thought about it, just because, you know, it's, oh yeah, DMX and Ludacris. But like, it's like, all right, there's a lot of original characters in this game.
Ludacris could still do this movie.
Ludacris should still do this movie.
He does action scenes in Fast and Furious.
Right? He be fighting. Colin, thank you for coming through and actually going to check out those links that I sent in the Fancast document. Because
I mean, that was so helpful.
I think I'm going to start doing that this could be an off mic conversation, but I'm glad that you found it helpful.
I'm going to be honest, I used them too. And
I did too. They had a bunch of stuff I didn't know about.
How else do you think I put together this document so that I could read out these character descriptions?
But yes, I'm glad you guys looked at that.
Everything that I read off today came from that wiki page.
It's like, oh, this nigga's from Boston? What? He's from Texas? What an interesting game. Just have all this information and not give it to us. Part of me thinks that somebody just fanficked it. Like, they're like, they gave us nothing. Go, girl, give us nothing. So they're like, let me just make a backstory. Who's going to say I'm wrong? Def Jam? They don't care about this game. They didn't even pay their rappers.
Especially if you wait long enough, they ain't gonna care.
Exactly. They're not checking that. But yeah, audience, do y'all remember Def Jam Vendetta? Should we do more rounds with some other characters? There are other characters. Like, in addition to a bunch of rappers, they made a bunch of original characters
to fight.
There's a dude named Chuckles, who is a clown. He uses you as a pogo stick as his final move. He has a partner named Sketch. He uses you as a jump rope, and that is as horrifying as it sounds. There's a fighting pastor. There's a pimp. There's so many interesting characters. I could fancast these people all day. But yeah, let us know. Hit us in the comments or hit us on Twitter at y'all_different, Instagram and Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast, Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC, or TikTok at Creative Differences Pod. If you want to talk to me about Def Jam, because I really, really, really love these games. Like, to be honest, I might spend all day tomorrow playing Def Jam Far from New York. Find me on Twitter and or Instagram at a king named Simba.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and maybe other places. You can figure it out at Duck McGuck.
Duck McGuck.
If you guys want to talk to me about the two other actresses I had on board for Angel before switching over to Cheyenne and Ariana, you guys can find me on Twitter at Demi_Joie. Joie is spelled Joie. Or you guys can find me on Instagram at Dreamy Films. Dreamy is spelled DREEMI. Thanks again for joining us. Tune in next time. Hopefully we'll be doing our top 5 favorite books/book series.
Yes, if Gabby ever comes back to us, we can talk about some books. And you guys can learn about how I don't read.
And how I have
that's gonna be
tried
so fun
to go back to reading.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
You gotta carve out some time.
But I have things I could be doing instead.
I know, but see, that's the exact reason that I gave for why I don't watch TV shows.
It's funny, yeah. It's like TV shows to you are like books, right?
To us.
Yeah.
I have a lot of books though, so
I got so many books. I ain't read them.
My bookshelf is bigger than my television.
It's been different. Bye.
Bye.
If you could put a rapper in the Fight Club type movie, any rapper,
okay,
who do you choose? I'm gonna start with you, Demi.
Daveed Diggs.
That was so fast.
Daveed Diggs looks like he would beat you up, okay?
He does look like he can scrap. I'm sure he can.
And plus, you already put Rafael Casal, so.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, my answer would have been Watsky.
That's so funny. It's the opposite of Daveed Diggs, but they're both in Blind Spotting. I have a controversial answer, and
okay,
I don't want to platform this man at all. To be honest, I just want him to go be quiet and get some help. But I have to pick Kanye West because
Lord.
Kanye West.
No, that's fair. That's
is
fair.
The most like wrestling villain type of personality.
Can you imagine his intros?
Exactly.
Insane.
Like the way he would come down to the ring. Like his concerts are insane. To me, I don't know if you watched, FD Signifier has that video where he talks about Kanye West.
I watched all of it.
Yeah, and he likens it to wrestling, like his heel turn and how he just kind of went down that path like a wrestler does when they turn from a good guy to a bad guy. He would be the ultimate heel. He is.
Before we cut off this outro, I just had a light bulb moment for who I could have chosen for Angel and would have been on theme, and I didn't, and I'm so sad. Cardi B.
Oh my God.